Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sara. I have two boys, a toddler son named Suleiman and a baby named Ishaq. I share regular content related, so please make sure that you hit up the like button, subscribe to join my YouTube family, and comment below what you'd like to see more of on my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my baby essentials and must-have items. You might not see some of these items across other people's lists, but with my experience with two babies now, I definitely put these items to the test, and I've used them thoroughly between the two of my children, and I can't swear enough about how great these products have been in my life and how helpful they've been with my. So with that, let's get into this video. The very first item on my list is the baby bassinet. I like the Fisher-Price Soothing Motions bassinet. I think this bassinet is incredible. I got so many questions about it and of people asking me what this bassinet was and if I recommend it. And the answer is yes. Yes, I highly recommend this bassinet, and it has been so essential with both of my boys. They slept in it from 0 to 6 months. They were right next to my bed, so it was easy access. What I like most about it is that it's completely mesh around the sides, so if they happen to press up against either side, you're not worried about anything. It's completely breathable. It's really easy to assemble. You don't need any type of machinery or equipment to put it together. Anyone can do it. I did it 9 months pregnant, and I had no problems assembling it. I like that it has a mobile that moves up top. You have to move it personally, which I find a little bit of a con. I wish that it was an automatic mobile, but maybe if Fisher-Price is watching this, they'll take that into consideration with future models. It has a soothing center, which is basically this control center that attaches to the bassinet, and it vibrates. It has music, it has white noise, it has a light as well as a night light. The white noise, I will say, is not as loud as I think it should be for a baby to sleep well, so I don't recommend it for white noise, but I do think it's still worth it because the vibration setting is game-changing when you have a baby that has reflux or colic. I also really like that it has a mesh shelf underneath it, which is where I put a lot of my nursing essentials. I love that this bassinet is very sturdy. It will not budge. You can rock it and it rocks like a hammock, so it gives your baby a suspended feel, which is very similar to the womb. And I think that's why my babies personally enjoyed it so much, because there's something called the 4th trimester, and while they're in that bassinet, they feel like they're suspended, and if you put them in a swaddle, then they're gonna feel really cozy and comfortable. And in my experience, it's just been a winning combination for getting your newborn to sleep really well. I actually also have handed this bassinet down to friends of mine, still in perfect condition. I actually just put it back into storage, so if and when I have a third, I'm gonna be using it again. It's completely worth every single dollar. And I think now it comes in different color variations. I got just the plain white one and I love it. I think it fits perfectly in my home and my aesthetic. I just can't say enough about that bassinet. I think if you're looking for a really affordable but high quality option of bassinet, then this is the one that you should get. It's one of my must-have baby items for a reason. This is my #1, hands down. Now, another must-have item is actually another Fisher-Price item, and it's my bouncer. I love the Fisher-Price Bouncer by Jonathan Adler. The collection is so beautiful. I've used it through my 2 children so far, and it lasted them till about 5 or 6 months. Once they start sitting up, I no longer place them in the bouncer. It has also that soothing center with the vibration, with the music, and it also has this mobile type thing at the top where it has a mirror so they can see themselves, and then these cute little toys that dangle off of it, and it really entertained both my children from 0 to 6 months. I also think that it's a really easy thing to take around my apartment because I only live in an apartment, so it is a little bit bigger than some of the other bouncers on the market, but for me it's really sturdy. It held up to my kids' weight, because when my toddler would go and sit on it, it wouldn't break, even though it looks like maybe it could do that. It actually has a very high weight limit, so if your toddler happens to sit on it, it's not gonna snap. It's also gone through many children, so I used it for both my boys, and I also handed it down to one of my friends who used it with her son. It's held up, and it's super easy to wash as well, because all you have to do is undo the straps from the bottom and pop the whole thing in the wash. Everything comes out. I've had multiple baby poop blowouts on it, and there is no evidence of that. I think it fits a lot of newer and modern aesthetics, so I think it's a really nice bouncer. I Definitely recommend it. I got it as a baby shower gift and it was one of the best gifts that I've ever been given. My next two must-haves, they're in the same category, but a wrap and a carrier. These are the two that I bought. They're super affordable. The carrier only cost me 25 bucks and the wrap only cost me $20. And I think they're completely worth it. And I use them still. I use them so much, especially when your baby likes to be held all the time, and especially in the newborn phase. So the wrap I found was more helpful in the newborn phase. I think baby wearing is really great, and it's a really nice way to do skin to skin with your baby, especially if you're trying to nurse them. If you want to calm down a very colicky baby, the best thing to do is to wrap them up to you and just have them close where they can comfort through the sound of your heartbeat, through the smell of your skin. I think it's a really easy way to carry your baby around. Now, the carrier I use as they get older. I think it's really effective in helping your baby face forward without getting that weird leg shape. You want to make sure that their legs are always properly positioned when they're in a wrap or carrier, and the carrier I find is easier with that. I got my best friend the more premium version of this carrier, and I think it was like $40 or $45. But what I like about the version that I got for her was that it has pockets, so you can put your keys, your wallet, your phone in that pocket and go for a walk, which I think is a lot more convenient. So if I were to recommend one or the other, I would recommend the premium one. Elsewise, the carrier that I have, it does the job. It works really well. I've used it now with both my boys, and I'm gonna use it again with future babies as well. Another item on my list for baby must-haves is a swaddle. I don't think you can have enough swaddles for newborns. I think swaddles are so helpful when you're trying to get your baby to sleep well. And I mentioned this in my newborn sleep tips video. If you haven't seen that, I would check that out. It is so helpful to be able to swaddle your baby. And these are the brands of swaddles that I've tried and that I think are worth the money. They're inexpensive, they're high quality, they help my baby sleep through the night, so I can't recommend them enough. Also, on the topic of sleep, a white noise machine. These are the three that I have purchased and loved. They are incredible quality sound machines. I've gifted the third one twice now to two of my good friends. I think it's a wonderful gift for anyone who is expecting a baby. White noise is really calming and it helps your baby sleep through the night. I also mentioned that in my newborn sleep tips video, and I swear by it. I think it's such a great product to have, and it's definitely been a must-have in our lives. It helps my babies get sleep because we live in a busy city, and during the day there's a lot of noise from construction, and then at night my husband snores. Not to expose him, but if you have anyone who snores in your family, then you might want to consider a white noise machine for your baby, because snoring can definitely wake up your baby. And the nice thing about these white noise machines is that they're portable, so you can take them with you, and if your baby is used to white noise, then they can sleep anywhere with these machines. Again, on the topic of sleep, sleep is a big one. I think most of the must-haves that I have revolve around sleep, because sleep is so important. And this item is a sleep sack. It reminds them again that it's time to sleep. It's part of their sleep routines. And what I like about the sleep sack is it prevents your baby from standing and climbing out of their crib. So with my first son, I used it until he was, I want to say 2.5, and then I switched him over to a blanket. And some of you might be thinking, 2.5, what? Yes, they can actually go up to 36 months with a sleep sack. And as a baby, every time he saw it, he knew that once I'm in there, I'm gonna go to sleep, and he would surely sleep in it. Same goes with my second. I got him into a sleep sack, things that you can take with you wherever you travel, wherever you go, grandma's house, wherever. Once you put them in that sleep sack, they know it's time for bed, and they will hopefully go to sleep. Now, the next item on my baby must-haves is a baby probiotic. Baby probiotics have been studied a lot recently. They are studied for colic and eczema. So my second son actually has eczema, and eczema is really difficult, especially when you're in Canada and you get the drier, colder months. Also reduces the risk of allergies according to more recent studies. If you have a baby that has colic, it's a really good way to reduce colic symptoms. I found that it was especially effective with my first, who had colic for 9 months. If I know anything, it's colic, and the best thing that worked for us was probiotics. This item is a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my list. It's an anti-flathead pillow, and we use this particular with my first because he had a flat head. He had what's called torticollis, where his neck was like basically tight on one side, so he would have a flat spot on this side of his head. And it was really frustrating because I was doing a lot of tummy time with him and hoping that that would resolve it, but it was not enough. Now, I didn't use the flathead pillow at night. I only used it whenever he was on his back during the day. I did use it for naps with my first, and it definitely corrected his head. He had quite a severe flathead. I was worried that he was gonna need a helmet, but thankfully with that pillow, he did not, and we were able to correct his head shape. But talk to your doctor. That's how my doctor said that I could use it, is if it was completely supervised, and I definitely stuck with what he advised me. My next must-have is not a material, it's an app. And I've used this with both my children. It is the best app, and it's the best $4 I've ever spent on anything. It's definitely one of those things that has helped me manage my expectations of my baby, but also helped me keep track of everything. So with my first, I was pumping, and it helped me track my pumping output, how much milk he was drinking in a day. It tracked his sleep, it tracks his diaper changes, all these things. And I am a type A person, so I like tracking because it keeps me kind of relaxed, I guess you could say. It also has growth charts, so you can follow along with that and see how your baby's doing in terms of growth and milestones. Track tummy time. It has a tummy time timer on there. It also keeps track of medication, so if you're giving your baby any medications, it tracks everything. It really lives up to its name, and it's a really great app. I can't recommend it enough. I think it's a wonderful app to have for your babies. Now, the next must-have is only going to be helpful to those who want to nurse or breastfeed or exclusively pump. And my two must-haves are a breast pump, and I say two because I have two pumps and they are both really great pumps. I'm going to make a completely separate video about pumping because I exclusively pumped for my first for 14 months. So I have a very good understanding of pumping, and now I'm nursing my second, and it's been 9 months of exclusive breastfeeding. And I definitely have even more experience now with nursing and pumping in general. So the two pumps that I recommend are the Spectra pump. This pump is a hospital grade closed system pump, and it's very affordable. I would not compare it to any other pump but the Symphony by the Medela, which is a hospital grade pump. I've used the Spectra for 2 babies and it is still going very strong. I love that it's closed system, so the tubing is super easy to clean. I don't have to do anything. There's no backflow of milk there. This is the best pump that I've tried hands down, and it helped me get much higher milk supply. So I got mine on eBay. So if you're in Canada and you're trying to get this pump, I would look on eBay. For the working mom, if you're a working mom, or if you're a mom that tends to go out and about, or if you have a second child and you're trying to bring up your milk supply, then I would recommend the LV pump, because obviously more demand equals more supply, and sometimes baby doesn't want to nurse. So if you're having issues like that, I had a lot of issues with my second because he was teething and is still teething very heavily. What I had to do was pump, and hand expression was not an option for me. I do not. It gets really easy because you just slip it in your bra and you go out about your day. It's completely silent, and it has an app and a sensor. So when it's full, it stops pumping, and you can just take it out, pour it into a bottle, give it to your baby. It's perfect. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's a great pump, and it's worth the price point. If you're bottle feeding, then I have 2 recommendations for bottles, and the first one is the Dr. Brown's wide neck slow flow bottles. My son, my first one, had reflux and colic, as I mentioned. His reflux was really severe to the point where he was medicated. The Dr. Brown's wide neck slow flow bottles helped tremendously. I do think there's more parts to clean, but it's not that difficult. You just put it at the top rack of a dishwasher and it does everything for you. It's very affordable. It comes in sets, and I think it's worth it. So I would definitely recommend it. The other bottle that I would recommend is the Boon Nourish bottles, and I think these are dupes of the Comotomo bottles, but for a fraction of the price. They're so cute, just gonna put that right out there, but they've been really effective with my second baby. My second baby was very particular with bottles, and obviously because he's nursing, I didn't want him to have confusion between the two, or preference between bottle or breast. I like that it's wide neck. I like that it's very easy to clean. There's not many parts, and it's completely dishwasher safe. So I would definitely recommend them as well. And the nice thing about these bottles is that you can buy lids for them. So once you're done using them as bottles, you can use them as storage containers for food. So it's just a win. They're totally worth the price point. Okay, now the last item on my list is a high chair. You won't really need this until they start sitting up or when you start to feed them. So the two that I would recommend, or three actually that I would recommend, first is the Fisher-Price Sit Me Up chair. This is really good for a baby that cannot sit yet. It basically teaches them how to sit, but it's also a really great chair if your baby has a flat head, which is why I purchased it with my first, and it was one of the best purchases I ever made. It has a little play bar so they can sit and play and be active with that during the day. It's perfect for on the go because it's foldable. The fabric is completely machine washable, so it's very easy to clean. It doesn't leave any stains. I've also lent this one out between a couple of my friends, and I've even recommended it to lots of my other moms who had difficulty with their baby's flat heads. This is one of the best items you can buy to help correct a flat head. It's a really good, comfortable seat because it's not plastic. It is, again, fabric. So I would definitely recommend the Fisher-Price Sit Me Up chair, and I've used it with both my boys now. The second high chair that I recommend is the IKEA chair. I think it's a really helpful chair. It's the Antelope chair, I believe it's called. It's under $25. I used it for 1.5 years with my first, and then I decided to upgrade to a really cool modern high chair, and it's called Phil & Ted's Poppy high chair. This is a really easy high chair to clean. It's easy to take apart. It's easy to install. Everything about it is simple, and that's what I love about it. It's the simplicity of design. I think it's really great for a baby that wants to self-feed because it has the tray really close to them, so then they can just kind of grab whatever and it's not gonna fall anywhere. And it also has a harness that can be changed into a 5-point harness if you need that extra support when they're first sitting down. I like that it's really streamlined with my home. I think it looks really nice. It's also really affordable versus really high-end chairs. It also converts into a regular chair. So once your baby's done using it as a high chair, you can just make it a high-seated chair where they can sit with you at the table, or you can make it into a kid's chair and use it in their room. So it's a really great chair for longevity. Again, it looks really sleek and nice and modern. So that's why I changed from the Antelope IKEA chair to the Phil & Ted's Poppy high chair, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a high chair that's modern, sleek, yet affordable. It's the Maxi-Cosi Miko Max 30. I think this is a really good car seat. I've used it with both my boys. It goes up to 30 pounds, which is really heavy actually. That's like the weight of a toddler, and it's very lightweight. It's super comfortable. You can use it in any car. It fits perfectly in our SUV. It comes with a base, but you can also install it for when you need to go in an Uber just by using a seatbelt. It's so easy to use and carry, and I found that particularly helpful living in a city where I need to carry the car seat sometimes. It also clipped in perfectly with my Quinny stroller. I would definitely recommend the Miko Max 30 in terms of car seats. I did compare it to other car seats, but I think this one just fit best in my car, and it also was just really easy to carry around, and the safety of it is really high as well. And that concludes my list. So if there's any item that you think I missed or that you would like to recommend, leave it in the comments below for fellow moms and dads to read. If you like this video, please support my channel with a like. It means so much to me and helps my channel grow. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing something on YouTube, so please take a second and leave me a little bit of support. I really, really appreciate it. It motivates me to keep on posting. If there's any type of video that you want to see specifically on my channel, please leave it in the comments below and I'll try my best to put it out there for you guys. And with that, I'll call it a video. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.